The most decorated gymnast in U.S. history, Shannon Miller has won 7 Olympic medals, 5 Pan American medals, and 9 World Championship medals. But her most important victory to date isn't gold, silver, or bronze, it's teal. Teal is the nationally recognized color of ovarian cancer, which Miller was diagnosed with in December 2010. She was just 33 years old at the time, happy and, to the best of her knowledge, perfectly healthy. I really didn't think I had any symptoms, except now I kind of look back and think, well, did I? I was complaining of having a stomachache from time to time, she says. According to the American Cancer Society, abdominal pain, bloating, frequent urination, and trouble eating are among the most common early symptoms of ovarian cancer. But they're also common in a lot of other far less serious conditions, which makes them easy to overlook or brush off. Younger women, in particular, may be less likely to recognize the signs, since many people still associate ovarian cancer with aging. About half of all cases do occur in women over 63, but ovarian cancer can strike girls in their teens, and women in their 20s, 30s, and beyond. Miller chalked up her symptoms to the fact that she'd had a baby, a son, Rocco, 15 months before and had been working overtime on the launch of her new company, Shannon Miller Lifestyle, a website aimed at educating women about health and fitness. My life was full, she says. Too full for cancer, a life-saving decision that almost wasn't. In fact, Miller was so busy that she very nearly skipped the doctor's appointment that ended up changing her life. I almost canceled it, she recalls now. I was on the phone to postpone it until the next year, because I was going to be out of town on the date that I had originally planned it. But I had these voices in the back of my head from women I had spoken to during and after Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I took the first opening available, which happened to be that morning. It was the best decision she ever made. During the appointment, Miller's doctor performed a routine pelvic exam and found a 7-centimeter cyst, equivalent in size to a baseball, on her left ovary. Still, she says, I really wasn't even thinking cancer at that point. My physician had told me, cysts come and go in women all the time, so don't get too worried. We are just going to run some tests. Fast forward to the next month, when Miller found herself sitting in an office with a gynecologic oncologist, I started hearing words like mass and cancer, she says. That's when it really hit me that this could be very bad. The biggest challenge of her life. The American Cancer Society estimates that there will be nearly 22,000 new cases of ovarian cancer this year and more than 15,000 related deaths, making it the deadliest, in terms of percent, gynecologic cancer. When caught in its earliest stages, ovarian cancer has a 5-year survival rate of more than 90%, but because there are no routine ovarian cancer tests and few definitive symptoms, some 80% of diagnoses are made after the cancer has already grown or spread, when the survival rate drops to less than 40%. Early detection is clearly very important, but it's also very difficult. Miller was lucky that her physician found the cyst the way he did. Many tumors aren't detected during regular pelvic exams because the ovaries are so deep within your body that it's hard for doctors to feel them. Imaging tests, such as ultrasounds, CT scans, MRIs, and X-rays, can reveal a mass, but they aren't typically included in your annual exam and are often used only after symptoms appear, which may be too late. Doctors couldn't tell what Miller was facing without going in to operate, so on January 13, they performed surgery to remove the cyst in her left ovary. The hardest part was going in not knowing what I was going to wake up to. Miller says, would the cyst be benign? Would I need a full hysterectomy and then never be able to have children again? Or would it be worse than that? Had the cancer spread? I had all these things going through my mind, and no control over any. But the news, much to her relief, was relatively good. The cyst was malignant, but it was caught in its earliest stage 1A, meaning the cancer was confined to just the inside of one ovary, and doctors had gotten all of it. Miller thought her nightmare was over. But 2 weeks later, the pathology reports came back. The cancer, it turned out, was of a slightly worse malignancy than doctors had originally believed, and Miller would need 9 weeks of chemotherapy after her body recovered from surgery. She started treatments on March 7. In the beginning, I thought, okay, this is a 9-week challenge. This is my goal. This is how I get through obstacles, and this is the finish line. I just turned on athlete mode, she recalls. And then that first week hit, and I landed myself back in the hospital for dehydration and low blood pressure. And the reality set in. This was a very difficult regimen, and it was going to be the biggest challenge of my life. How Shannon Miller turned her pain into passion. Fortunately, Miller had a huge support system to help her through it. The community I live in has been so helpful, she says gratefully, remembering how friends and family rallied around her. And my husband, I just can't say enough about him. He's been a rock, running his company while also taking on the errands and the house cleaning and the day-to-day activities. Because of her website, Miller also received unexpected counsel from strangers. She announced her diagnosis on her blog in February of this year, a month after the surgery to remove her cyst. "It's hard to be public about such a difficult and personal topic," she admits. "But people have been overwhelmingly supportive. The letters, the tweets, the Facebook posts, they all really helped me on those very bad days when I just wasn't sure if I was going to get through it, wanting to give other women the same